As we begin our lives as children, we often don't have a chance to think about our future. Instead, we're caught up in the moment and thinking about how am I going to finish this giant ice cream cone before it melts? As we grow older, we tend to start thinking about the conversations that we have with our parents. Sometimes a whole lifetime passes without them saying, we need to have a talk. Adoption is a serious deal, and we need to talk about it a little bit before we get into how it what it is, how it affects our daily life, and how can it change the future. So, what is adoption? Well, the definition of it is actually the legal fact of taking another child and raising it as your own. This being said, your parents basically aren't your parents. Most adopted children don't know their biological parents, which means you're stuck in a land where you don't understand who your real parents are and why you can't see them. Adoption can happen for many different reasons. This could have something to do with finances, religion, or even death. In most cases, adoption has a hard backstory to listen to, but there's also some good ones, like people who can't have children or are childbearers. There's also some problems with not being able to get on the wait list. It takes a lot of time and questions and facts to answer just to get on the wait list. It can take years and months, and sometimes a whole century passes before you get a child that you actually want. This makes a child feel excluded from a family and have doubts about themselves. And according to effective involvement treatment centers, adoption can have a negative effect on long-term mental health for children. This is a symbol that lies in a child's mind through adoption. It's the adoption symbol, a simple triangle and heart put together just to show how much love they actually mean to them. On each side of the triangle is the birth family, adoptive family, and adoptee, and the love shows how much love they all share for each other. So, many people don't see that symbol on a daily life, so let's talk about how it can affect our daily lives. For the most part, a lot of adoptive families have a very happy lifestyle. They agree with taking in a child that can prove their lifestyle is a happy one instead of having just a symbol in their life. But there's also things like children having long-term mental illnesses, like having self-doubt issues, identity issues, and even attachment issues to children and their parents. This also means that you might not have a full background on what a child's health can be. This being said, it can harm the long-term health problems of a child. But most children have a healthy, big start to what their future can be, letting the parents have a good financial footing and spending time with the adoptive children. So how does this impact my future? Well, finding out in February that I was adopted had a big negative impact on my life. This whole time, I stopped and started wondering about why my life had felt like a lie this whole time. I started feeling so alone because I didn't even know if I could trust my own family. Instead, I started connecting the dots, like why my brother picked on me so much as a child, and how come my mom was so sensitive about the topic adoption when my brother used to joke about me not fitting into the family. And then I started to realize that I never had a baby book. I never had any photos of me past the age of 5 when my parents got divorced. After I figured all of this out, I finally got a DNA test, and now that I'm turning 18, I'm on the journey to find my biological parents. All I know about them is that she's somewhere out there, and I don't know anything about my dad. It's true that my mom didn't have a real copy of my birth certificate, and she didn't even know when and where I was born. For all I know, my birthday is still November 17th of 2003, but that could be a lie to me too. Taking a look back on what we've learned today, we learned what adoption is, how it affects the daily life of children, and how it's impacted my future. So now that you know a little bit about adoption, take this information to heart and don't spend all that time worrying about the ice cream that was melting.